Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Running another SK Modified Fixed Series race. We are here at Concord Speedway for week 11 of the season. Don't feel very confident. That seems to be the theme, unfortunately, for this week, that we feel very far off the pace, and it's seeming to be weaker strengths of fields when we end up being a higher car number, or at least, in terms of the strength of field, we're a lower car number, higher up on the strength iRating side. So car number 5 out of 14 managed to qualify 9th. Probably could have been a little faster. Screwed up a couple of corners in qualifying, so could have picked up some speed, but honestly, I don't think I'm anywhere near the top 3 or 4. I think even getting to 5th, the only way we're going to be able to pull that off is by avoiding a bunch of wrecks if they happen. We are at least starting on the inside, so that is a nice thing to have going for us. But yes, I just do not feel very confident at all about our pace. Didn't really get a ton of practice in, but tried to watch some stuff on what other people were doing, and I just cannot seem to grasp the way that guys are driving this. Gonna throw up session best lap to try to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I just, it's gonna be pray that there is some calamity and somehow we're able to avoid it, even though this track is very narrow. That's gonna be about our only hope to get to a top 5. We've got some guys that are fast that I expect to be moving their way up. I think the one starting in 6th, a couple rows ahead of us, is going to be really quick. I think a couple guys up in the front are going to be really quick. Leader's already going, really early start. Good idea for him. Allows us to try to clear the 8, at least pick up a spot. We're going to work our way into turn 1, and we're just going to see how it goes. Everybody's off clean so far in front of us. That could easily change because it seems like the only way to get around here is to use the bumper at times. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for that. 8's already starting to catch us. We clipped too much of the apron there through 1, lose it. iRacing technically has this listed as a 5-turn track, but we're just going to call it 3 for this video's sake. We are losing quite a bit of time to the 4. You can see the 8's all over the back of us. He's probably not getting on the brake early enough. Just trying to let the car roll a little bit more as well. 40 laps is going to go fairly quick through here.
The lap time was at 16.
See the group starting to tighten up a little bit there, so we're going to watch out to see if there's any contact and any wrecks, because we've got the 12 who is on the outside of the 4. Able to at least get a little bit of a better of a lap. That actually sadly bested our qualifying run. We are pulling away from the 8 at least, so there's no pressure from behind. We're trying to catch up to the front. My guess is we're only catching up because of them running side by side. I don't know if we're actually faster than the 12. Looks like he's going to go way inside. He actually makes contact with the 4. Able to avoid the 4 on the inside. That was something that I was needing to be able to move up any spots. We need to move up a couple more spots than this, though, to feel like we can get anything out of the race. Got on the throttle a little too early there. Almost pushed up into the wall out of 4, or out of 3, but able to catch it. I feel like we might be faster than 12 maybe, but we're going to see what we can do. Looks like the 8's kind of coming, and I would assume if the 4 doesn't leave the session and he gets rolling, he might be coming back as well for some payback, so we'll have to watch out for that so that we're not tangled up in anything that can come from that. 8's definitely catching up to us big time. Just going to try to run the best laps that we can. I can't even sadly blame it on the 12 at all. It's more on how bad we're driving, because his lap was still faster than what we've done. If he really starts putting out much pressure, we might just let him on by so that we don't lose any more spots. I just keep getting on the throttle too early out of 3, although it looked like the 8 also did the same thing, clipped the outside wall on the front stretch, so gives us a slight bit of a gap, not very much though to work with. Just that outside wall, man, if you get on the throttle a little too early, it sneaks up on you big time. Trying to catch the 12, although you can see the 1 and the is really pulling away a little bit, although I expected him to be moving up through the field quite a bit more, so not sure what's going on there. Going to see if we can try to take advantage of the 12 at some point slipping up. We're going to try to work to his inside. Oh, I don't want to do it without making any contact. We're going to try to see if we can get to his inside here through 3. It was going to make it really tough to get off the corner at all. Thankfully, no incident points out of that contact, but yeah, that allows the 8 to get right on top of us and the 12 to pull away, so we're going to have to try to reset and see if we can find opportunity again if we get back to him. Looks like this might be kind of like the late model race where I might be racing for 6th, although the 8 might have something to say about that as well. Behind him, we got a pretty good back to the 10, good gap back to the 10, so not really worried too much that way. Just gonna try to get every spot that we can. 1 gets by the 7 up front, so he might be trying to move to the front like I kind of expected. Let's see, we're already 15 done of 40. We're gonna move brake bias back slightly.
That lap time was 16.09.
Not a ton of laps overall in these races. Every single SK race is 40 laps, so they tend to go fairly quick if you're not up in the front. You don't have a ton of time to be able to get by people, so. But again, I still want to try to do it as cleanly as possible. Looks like the 1's having some blinking issues, although I'm not paying attention. That could easily be my connection as well. But I don't see everybody else blinking, so I'm guessing it's on the 1. Looks like we're catching back up to the 12, pulling away from the 8 quite a bit, so that helps us have a little less pressure if we try to get by the 12 and are not able to close it. He pushes up again. Not sure if we're going to try to do it in 3 or 4 this time, although he goes way high, comes down on us. That somehow assigns it to us. Feel really bad, but he just kind of shot down the track. Probably should have let him by, so not sure about that one. Able to move to 6. We'll see if we can close up to the 7 at all as he's battling with the 1.
Gap to Brown ahead is now 1.09.
We pushed a little wide, got on the throttle too early. You can see we're 2nd back at the line, so we're going to try to see what we can do.
Was at 16.32.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there with the 12. We'll have to go back and watch the replay and see if I came up that much or if he came down. Lose about a 10th to the 7.
Okay, Jake. Halfway home.
Get on the apron a little too much. That gets us a little too loose and kind of kills the momentum off. 1's going after the 6, it looks like. Really clipping the apron too much. I'm just trying too hard, honestly. Gotta remember that I'm not going to pick up any time if I'm actually making mistakes like that, even though I'm trying to drive as aggressively and as fast as I can. Just gotta try to brake at the right time, let the car roll in, and hope that he sticks so we can gain a little bit of time on the 7 that lap. So just gotta keep trying to do the same thing. Might be able to get to him. Come across the line to start 24. Looks like we gained about a 10th, so we might be able to get to him if we can keep that pace up, but getting by him is going to be a whole nother story. Looks like the 1 did get by the 6, so he's making his move up to the front. He's in 3rd now. I'll just be happy getting to the 7 for 5th if we can. Get into the wall that time, lost a little bit of time to the 7, although the 6 seems to be dropping back. We'll see if he kind of gets it righted and pulls away from the 7, or if he falls to the clutches of the 7 as well. 8's kind of falling back a little bit, doesn't seem like he has too much. Holding about steady with the 7 right now.
That was at 16.26. The gap to Brown ahead is now 1.00.
See, I forgot to mute the chat, so sorry about that. Lost a little bit of time to the 7, but gained a 10th on the 6, so we'll see if they start running side by side, if that allows us to close up to both of them, and if there's any contact between them. Move the brake bias back some more. Got the 13 up ahead. Hopefully he stays high going into 1 if we get to him then. See what he does. Looks like he does stay high. We're going to catch him at the worst time going through 2 and 3. It's going to kill all our momentum, even though he does get out high for us. Thank you to him.
We're outside.
Able to clear him, but you can see we lost about a 10th. to the 7, so clip too much of the apron, get loose there, that's going to hurt us even more. That also, with the 13, allowed the 8 to close back up. But he's going to have the same issues with the 13 once he gets to him, it looks like, so that should help us pull away a little bit. See, we've got 10 to go right now. I come across the line to complete 31, we'll be on 32. Pushed way too, I got on the throttle way too early, even still hit the wall. That time we give ourselves a 2x out of it, so safety rating's just going out the roof. And we've lost so much time to the 7, so looks like it's going to be another 6th place finish. Just feel like I have not had the speed to compete with anybody at all this week. Both late models felt the same way, and this clipped too much of the apron there. Gets us really loose. I feel like I cannot get the car into any of the turns and trying to rotate faster. Probably am making the entry too shallow. And you can see when I do that, then it pushes me up and it just screws up turn 2. Car kind of just pushes off the corner and slides. I am severely driving this thing wrong, so let off too early, gave up there. 8's gotten by the 13, but we've got about 2 seconds on him with 5 to go this time by, so I feel like we can kind of just cruise and finish it out in 6. I don't think we're going to get to the 7 at all, not unless they have some sort of contact problem up ahead.
It's getting closer. The gap is now 1.67.
So I'm just going to try to roll it around and keep it off the wall to prevent any more incident points. I mean, 6 out of 14 for me should not be terrible, especially because I was car number 5. I'm pretty close to where I should be finishing, but it's trying to make top 5s more consistent. Terrible qualifying effort, and just feel like all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I cannot drive these fixed setups fast anymore. Used to be able to drive them a lot quicker than I can now. In the last probably 4 weeks or so, I've just struggled really bad and not been all that quick. So, not sure what's going on there. Definitely going to have to spend a lot of driving time to work on it and get a little bit better. See, we got 2 to go. We'll be getting the white flag this time by.
Brown in front is now 1.58.
Just going to try to bring it home here in one piece. Looks like the 7 fell off a little bit, so if we would have been cleaner and maybe a little bit faster, we might have had a shot at them, but just could not put anything together for him, so it's gonna roll it around, bring it home in 6th. Another 6th place finish. Not as bad as it could have been, but you know, again, I just feel like I'm throwing away so much by not learning how to drive these things even faster. So let's jump out, take a look, and see what happened with the 13, or excuse me, the 12. So you can see we're trying to work to his inside. We're not there yet. Get to his inside. That was the contact that created the 0x a few laps prior. So let's fast forward and get to where we set him up again to get to the inside. We definitely were faster than for sure, because we were closing big time on him, at least for a fixed setup. So we'll start this at the beginning of the lap when we cross the line. And you can see we crossed the line going into 1. He's going to push it up really wide, so we were starting to look to the inside. And then he just takes a really high entry. Yeah, I mean, that's still completely on me, because you can see he took a really high entry. We went to the inside. I thought he was going to stay high, and he kind of just came down, and honestly, I should have tapped the brakes to try to get out of it. So 100% me. It's completely my fault. I feel really bad about that. He's actually out, so can't even send an apology to him, but yeah, that's what happened. Feel really bad about that. That's not how I wanted to get by him. We're trying to do it as cleanly as possible, but yeah, I don't know. I thought he was opening it up. I thought he made a mistake and was going to stay high, so that's why I tried to go low to get it, and he came down quite a bit, and it didn't quite work out for us. We should have hit the brakes, but let's take a look at the results, see how we did. You can see this was top split of 3, 2189 strength of field, so a little bit better for these, but still bad. 15,953, 15,817 was the fast lap, so about a tenth and a half off or so. I really want to be within probably half a tenth or so on these fixed setup races. At least able to gain 14 out of that. Lost 0.15 in the safety rating, but again, we had the 4x from getting into the 12 there, and then also had another 2x from cracking the wall, so completely on us. But I would at least gain a little bit of I rating, try to climb back over that 2,500 mark. I had a late model race to end week 10 that had some connection issues, put me all the way in the back. So that one was completely my fault. Lost a lot of the I rating that I gained after finishing in the back of that. So trying to build it back up, try to get back over 2,500, shooting for, seeing if we can even get to aggressively maybe 3,000 by the end of the season. But we'll see how that goes. So slow gains, but something. Hopefully, it was enjoyable for you guys to watch. I know we were never really close to cars too much outside of running with the 12, but tried to do the best we can. So hopefully you learned something, or again, at least learned what not to do from what I'm doing to be faster. So feel free to leave any comments below, any suggestions you've got. Always remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video to come out. Until then, hope all your laps are clean, races are good, and your finishes are fast and high. Until next time, thanks for watching.